All right, here we go. Hopefully this will be the final part to this point. We have been working. This is, of course, some petrified palm wood that I got from my buddy Judson at the Silver River Nap-In. And very excited to work this and, hopefully get a point from it. So, I think what I want to do is kind of figure out some pressure flaking work first. Kind of see what this point is about, how the pressure flaking is going to work. So, flip my cap backwards here and just see how this is going to flake across the grains. And so far, doing quite well. I'll show you in just a second. That one knocked me in my glasses. That one did too. Gotta wear your glasses. That one did as well. Yep. So that's just kind of flaking into the base there, as you can see. Now we're gonna do it on this face. Let's see, where do we wanna? Now, assuming we go stem point here, which I think is what we're doing, if it doesn't traverse this thicker area, I'm not going to be too upset, because we can catch that later and work our way up to it, which is probably what will end up happening. Yep. So we do a pretty good job here of thinning out the base. But once you get up to this region here, it gets a little thicker. Now I'm seeing something. I'm seeing potential. Don't know if this will work. Probably get my driving billet here. Ooh, yeah, it took off a little bit there. Whoopsies. Okay, so we didn't quite catch it, but we got up there to it. And that ridge right there can be easily caught with a little bit of pressure once we get up there to it. So not really worried about that really at all. And this flake will get up there to it. It won't take it off, I don't think, but it'll help us here in a moment. Yeah, this might not even reach it. But I want to take it anyways. Yeah, there we are. Okay, and that little bit of thickness there will serve as a stem, as you always want the stem to be slightly thicker, but we're gonna thin it down, don't worry, if it's not already thin enough. So, okay, from here, seeing a couple things. That was a slightly hefty area I wanted to fix. Don't know what this will do here. Did fine. And as it relates to the tip, we've got some work to do. Now again, I'm thinking about bringing this edge in. And gotta choose one of them. And that's the one I choose. Again, there are sometimes multiple options. And now getting over here towards the tip, I'm starting to see a little bit of hinging, so I'm gonna switch to, and that's due to it being so thin. There's only so much you could do percussion-wise without really risking the whole piece itself. Now something like that I can take with a bopper. That might actually become a theme. You know, setting it up with pressure and then taking a flake across. And that did very well. So, just kind of, and this is technically, if you really want to get good platforms, I mean, do this on every single platform you do. You take towards the later stages. If anything, can serve as practice. I don't think the bopper will get in there. Let's take some from here first. Okay. So, at a point where you get a hinge, where that little cortex spot is, you just gotta kind of work around it. This steel is working really good. Really good. So I'm just gonna stick with it. It's gripping just fine. Pushing just fine. Everything I'm doing is pretty predictable. I'm not really scared of much. Yeah, I should have started with this. Oops. This is gonna look weird at first, because this is already so high, but it's such a blunt edge, you need to get rid of it. Push, push, down, push, 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 push. That one slapped me in the face. Try to catch that on the other face. Again, got some weird things to catch here. I'm not sure how it'll go. Start at the tip again. And again, just really odd. Thick, broad area. This is not good. How did that thin across there? I don't know how that thinned across there. There's still one area of thickness. Very unfortunate. Don't really have a direct line to it. Yeah, I gotta stick with the steel. I'm gonna try to, I shouldn't do it, but I gotta catch it. So, it may end up making this into a different point because of that. I don't know. There's so much weird stuff going on here. That's not going to cut it. I gotta go here first. We got that. This is the main one here. If this one doesn't take, we're ruined. Whew. We're good. We're fine. We had to eat into the edge a little bit, but we got it. We got it, we got it, we got it. Deep breath, deep breath. It's making me look at the rest of the piece. And gives me an idea of what I need to fix. To allow for that extra bit of freedom I was giving it. See, I messed up there too. Never mind. We'll probably end up doing a little bit more percussion with the smallest billet for convexity reasons. But a lot of fixing I'm gonna have to do right now. A lot of edge work. To get the symmetry, shape, and flake scars that I need. See, this needs to go the other way. And honestly, it just needs to be boppered. So it doesn't look so flat. Again, not really running these into the middle per se. As much as I am just trying to get out some of the hills and odd spots. And again, this one's this side needs it for sure. Again, we got a little bit of room to spare here. Still plenty wide. Come back and do the same thing on this face. Keep it from looking so out of the ordinary. Again, all this could be done with pressure, but it's quicker and looks a little better if you do it this way, in my opinion. Finally got to the point of wrapping over that long, thick flake there. I think we have a problem. Not one I can't work through. a little incipient seam that you can barely even see. I don't think it'll give us an issue. Keyword think, I'm not sure. It's kind of right where I want to be here. It's unfortunate. Is where I would want to take a flake. Took it right there on it, and it seemed to hold together, so. And all this is going to be stemmed off, so. Go ahead and do that. Check for other flat areas. And that may seem kind of contradictory. Check for flat areas to make them not flat. Because usually when you strike, you're trying to run a decently flat flake, but here I'm trying to build convexity, make it rounder. Actually, we do talk about plates as if they're, you know, maybe I should use paper and plates because paper is flat. The plates have a nice curve to the bottom. So really I do want it to have kind of a plate-ish look on both sides. Don't know if I've ever thought about that. But I do want it to look like a plate in that respect. Didn't do great there. Again, this side is kind of getting weird on me. Get this back here, sharpen it up a bit. And see what we need to do. That's fine. Come on. Okay. thinner it gets, the more it's wanting to act like Tallahassee and hinge on me. Which isn't a big deal. I know how to deal with that, but there we go. Okay. I hate working up here close to the tip when it gets thin like this. Just not a big fan. It's not fun. There's your bound to have hinges. Bound to break. So I'm not gonna try to uncork a ultra crazy thin tip. Oh, that did good though right there. I needed that one. Depends on how these next few do. I'm already gonna have to trim the tip up a little bit anyways. See, that was one that could have broke the whole piece. But it did okay. Ooh. That one could have done it there. Okay, okay. I could either work up to it or try to round over it and hadn't gone. It just wants to break. It just wants to. It just wants to. Well, we did it. I don't know how, but we did it. huge sigh of relief. Humongous sigh of relief. It's gonna look a little different than this one. In fact, this one's gonna not be as wide, but it's still gonna look pretty doggone sporty. And really, I'm okay with that. Noonans don't have to be super wide, but I'll tell you what, yeah, this is gonna come out nice. This shall be nice. Go ahead and do this side here. It's so flat that I'm having to kind of pull down to get some convexity. If I push in, it's just gonna hinge. In fact, it's so thin that even pulling down is starting to get a couple hinges. Need to bite a little bit more of the edge, except for right here. That I can drive. And that one I could. See the edge? Looks a little better. More streamlined. Whereas this one we haven't really touched yet. Now, there's a couple things I'm looking at here. Nah, I'll fool with it later. Go ahead and sharpen this tip again. And again, I'm not really liking what's towards the base over here. Again, I can kind of fix it. But I need to know the blade shape first, so maybe I work on the tip. Maybe start about right here. Again, usually the first pass I can drive in a little bit on some of these, but when I braid and do the other, usually I'm already so close to center line that I just need to pull down mostly. Fool around with the tip a little bit later. I mean, it's not bad. Oh, that's why. That's where that little hinge or that little seam was. Didn't really want to touch it. Still don't. So yeah, we'll just pressure flake around that. First, abrade slightly. It's practically, I mean, you can barely see it. But it's there. Have to take a little bit off the tip for sure. I'll get to that in a little bit. Or maybe right now, who knows. Never want to really start with the tip, work your way up to it. It's a fragile little piece. Yeah, not super thrilled with the taper. Just gonna start pulling down. That one I can push, this one I can push. Down, down, down. Took a couple gouge flakes there. That's where you shoot in, but you shoot so far in that it kind of rounds back up, and so you don't really get a hinge. I don't know if that makes sense, but all right. So we got our blade shape, and 20 minutes. I mean, it's probably gonna take me another hour just to clean this up and make it nice, and I don't want to rush it. So I'm gonna stop here. And we'll do a third video here in a minute. Thanks, guys.